This conference will now be recorded.
Hello everyone, how are you? Hope you are doing well. Now in this lesson, we are gonna tell about chemical coordination. As I mentioned in previous lessons, we said that in order to maintain our internal stability, our homeostasis, we need some coordination mechanisms. And one of these coordination mechanisms is coordination, nervous system. And one another coordination mechanism is chemical coordination. As you know, as you understand from this word, it's mean that we have some chemicals to control systems, mechanisms, processes in our body, in our organism. So what do? We have some chemicals, but from where, from which organs these are produced? So we say that we have glands, and these glands, these are organs, they produce hormones, and these hormones control some processes, many processes in our body. And we say that there are some glands like saliva glands, like sweat gland, and they have special tube-like structures. They have veins, they have roots, and we say that they have ducts. And these ducts are functional in the process of excretion of these products to the outside. And we define these glands exocrine glands, okay? They have duct to excrete these their products to the outside. As you see, salivary gland produce saliva, and then we salivate into our mouth, okay? And so also sweat gland is also like that. But in our endocrine gland, because they don't have any duct, they don't have any way to excrete, they don't have any tube to excrete their material to the outside or to the inner environment of our body, they excrete their material, their product, their chemicals into the bloodstream. And so we call them endocrine glands, okay? Endocrine glands. And so the name of this system is called endocrine system. So the product of endocrine glands, we call them hormones, okay? These hormones are secreted to the blood vessels, and they go to their target organs, and they reach their message to these organs, and these organs show special characteristics, show special response to the environmental changing. And then, dear friends, for example, you can imagine, we know that this is very famous disease in the society, diabetes. For example, we control our sugar level. As I mentioned, we have internal stability, and one of these stability is sugar level. One another is body temperature. One another is, for example, pH. So, for example, insulin. Insulin regulates blood sugar in our blood, in our body. So, if, for example, when we eat a meal, our sugar level, because there is sugar in the bread, there is sugar in the pasta, or in any jam or something like that. In for example, fruit, there is sugar. So when we eat this, our sugar level in our blood increases. So if there is, for example, special certain amount of sugar level, if it, for example, go above this level, so immediately our pancreas produce insulin, and this insulin, pancreas means that it is a gland, it produces an insulin, and insulin degrades this sugar in our blood, and it stores the sugar in our glycogen in liver. So we understand that what is the function of insulin? Decreasing of sugar level in blood, okay? So they have like that function. And in general, we need to know that what is the differences between nervous system and endocrine system. We know that firstly, nervous system response is very immediate, is very how can I say, in a second maybe. We respond to the environmental changing stimuli, and then we show our response. But endocrine system, we can say that it's a little bit slow. And the function, we can see the units of nervous system is neurons. We have nerve cells, and by using our peripheric nervous system, by using our sensory and motor neurons, we control our body system. We coordinate our processes in our body. But in the endocrine system, we have hormones instead of nerves. So, and also we need to know that their function is instant effect they have, but they have a slower effect, and also response, nervous system response go away, or we can avoid this response in a short time, but response of endocrine system is also avoiding this response is also it takes longer. Okay, response is usually longer lasting. So, and also we need to know that impulse act on an individual cells such as muscle fibers, so have a very localized effect. So nervous system, for example, if there is, for example, sharp thing and your finger is touching to this sharp thing, only finger is affected from this stimuli, but hormonal responses and hormonal how can I say stimuli, it's a little bit large scale. Okay, it might has widespread effects on different organs. Okay, for example, let's learn main glands, endocrine glands, which they produce some hormones. Okay, one, pituitary gland, we need to know that this is very important gland that found in under the brain, and this firstly it produces antidiuretic hormone. From this diuretic and anti, you need to understand, you need to keep in your mind that antidiuretic, it means that it decreases amount of urine which we excrete when we go to the toilet. Okay, so urine, by using our urinary bladder, we excrete it. Yes, so antidiuretic hormone, it means that it decreases the amount of urine production in our kidneys. So it means that the effector, the target of antidiuretic hormone is kidney, dear friends. So one another gland is, for example, hypothalamus, just above the pituitary as a part of brain called the hypothalamus. So the pituitary contains neurons linking hypothalamus, and some of its hormones are produced under the control of the brain. So hypothalamus is not a gland. Okay, hypothalamus is the part of brain that controls pituitary gland. And pituitary gland, one another pituitary gland hormone is follicle stimulating hormone. So its function is egg development and estrogen control, and secretion in females and sperm production in males. Okay, and luteinizing hormone, again, it stimulates ovulation and stimulates testosterone. And we need to know that also luteinizing hormone increasing thickening of the uterus wall, so it triggers actually menstrual cycle. And as I mentioned, antidiuretic hormone controls the water content of the blood. So one another is thyroid hormone, the thyroid gland, and the hormone is thyroxine, so it controls metabolic rate. Pancreas, insulin and glucagon. Insulin decreases sugar level, glucagon increases sugar level. Adrenal gland produces adrenaline, and it gives us exciting. Okay, so we can fight with adrenaline, we can run away from adrenaline, we can afraid by using adrenaline. So this is very important. It increases our heart rate, breath rate, so we can run or we can fight. Testes and ovaries, as you know, these are sexual organs, but actually they are also glands. So they can produce these hormones, and these hormones are very important in the development of secondary sexual characteristics. Okay, so progesterone regulates menstrual cycle, estrogen controls development of female secondary sexual characteristics, and Also, testosterone regulates the sexual characteristics of humans. Okay, so dear friends, I mentioned about pancreas, these organs. Okay, so these are adrenal glands. So as I mentioned, it affects us, our whole body, adrenaline. So it gives us, how can I say, power to fight with any animal. It can be human. Okay, so even in the cat, in all mammals, adrenal gland has same function. As you see, by this way they become larger, they show themselves larger and stronger. Okay, so you need to know the effect of adrenaline. And I mentioned that insulin and glucagon, what is their function? One of these function is decreasing sugar level, one another is increasing sugar level. But diabetes has two types. In the type 1 diabetes, we say that we should really refer to this full name, which type is type 1. There are also type 2. So at first, pancreas makes extra insulin, but eventually it cannot continue to make enough to maintain blood glucose at a normal level. Type 2 diabetes is a common people who are overweight. So in the type 1, we can observe type 1 even in small kids. Okay, it is a little bit rare. But in type 2, we can see type 2 diabetes in many people. So this is a little bit common in our society. So it originated from maybe overweight. Okay, but diabetes type 1, in the type 1, actually human being has resistance to insulin. So insulin comes, insulin is produced by pancreas, but we cannot react to the insulin hormone. So this is also very important situation. Also, in these diabetes people, they, as you know, they control daily their sugar level, maybe 3 times or 2 times in a day. So they use insulin to decrease their sugar level. Thank you very much. It is end of chemical coordination chapter, and I hope you have learned something from this online lesson.